All right, it's Dr. Andrews again. It is Wednesday, which means that your main discussion board again. It is Wednesday, which means that your main discussion board posts are due today. They're due earlier than the other assignments for the week to ensure that we're able to have a good conversation on the discussion board and learn from each other. And that means that now in the week, you are shifting to working on your discussion board replies. And I want to talk today about how to get a good grade on those replies. So, one thing that I love about students at Bryant Stratton College is you guys are so good at encouraging each other, just lifting each other up, saying what you're doing well, just saying all kinds of positive things about each other. That's awesome. I want you to do that in your replies on the discussion boards. But I want you to do more than that. Often I see students will reply to a main post and just say, yeah, I agree, good work. Or they'll say, yes, you were right about this, and send off one sentence and that's it. That's not a good enough post to get a strong grade for this assignment. You don't want to just agree with the person. You need to add something to the discussion. So here are a few ways you can do that. One is you can agree with them and then give an additional reason for why they're right. So they might say, well, I believe A because XYZ. And you could say, well, hey, I believe A too. And I think it also because of DEF or some other reason. So you can add an additional reason. You can add an additional resource. So someone posts about some item that happened in the news that has to do with ethics. And you say, hey, that's really interesting. I like that you posted that. Here's another story that connects with what you wrote. Or here's a resource to learn more about it. So you might find an additional source. You can also connect two posts together. So maybe your peer writes something about an issue and another person on the board writes something sort of similar and you reply and say, hey, you guys seem to be talking about the same thing. What do you think? Or you might even say, hey, you guys seem to disagree, but you both have really good reasons for what you're saying. Who do you think is right? And finally, don't be afraid to disagree. This is a class where it is totally safe, it is totally fine to argue with each other, to debate, to disagree. As long as you do, in fact, I encourage it. I very, very strongly encourage it. As long as, first off, you do it respectfully. Second, you don't just say, I disagree. That's also a quick, one sentence answer. We're looking for a paragraph or two in your replies. You don't just say, I agree. You say, I agree because, and then you give your own reason for why you think they're wrong. Like I said in the first video, it's all about showing your work. So try one of those on the discussion boards. For each of your replies, don't just write a one sentence, yeah, good job. Make a good, decent couple sentence paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, and make sure that you add an additional resource, add an additional reason or piece of evidence, connect two different posts, or disagree with your peer. Or even if you don't disagree, just pretend to. You ever hear the phrase playing the devil's advocate? That means you pretend to have a position that you don't have just for the sake of argument. Just say, hey, well, I agree with you, but if you thought about this reason why we might be wrong, do that too. So try one of those on each of your discussion board replies, and I guarantee you will get a strong grade and you will move the discussion along. You will make it more interesting, which means you will learn more, which means you will get higher grades on your assignments and tests too. So it's a win-win for everybody. All right, I'll see you guys around.